Mr. Brown says I got a interview to film today. I wonder who it is that he has me interviewing today. Oh, well, I guess I'll just wait.
You.
Ah! Oh, God!
Come here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, God.
Something the matter?
No, sir.
Something on my face?
No, sir. No, sir. Not at all.
Good. You know, I've been gone for some time. And during my time away, I've done a lot of soul searching, a lot of spiritual healing and thinking. Walking in the woods, because the woods themselves are very serene and peaceful, and it brings a whole new meaning to your life when you find yourself in true serenity. And that's where I was. Though I know this is very late in who I'm talking to, but I want you to understand, and I can't stress that enough. I need you to understand. I want you to hear every syllable I breathe. I want you to feel every word I say. I want you to drown in my sentences because I am not going to say this again. It will be the last time I ever truly speak on this. So, James Needham, let's talk. Now, let's get one thing out of the way. I don't hate you. Hatred is something that I do not have the luxury for, nor do I care to have, because hatred does nothing in the long run. Oh, sure, it can warm you at night, it could keep you warm and cozy, it could make you live another couple of years, it can make your complexion so smooth, but once you run out of hatred, then what do you have? Nothing. And you're back to square one. No, my problem is not of an hated thing. It's more of an irritation, an annoyance. You see, as much as I play up this role of being evil, a monster, someone who thrives on the idea of taking someone's skull and using it as a personal, well, you get the idea. I'm still human at the end of the day. I bleed, I hurt, I bruise. I have my bouts of emotions just like everybody else. And what I need you to understand, Needham, is that my problem with you is more along the lines of how you have gotten away for 3 years. How you've gotten away with being a deceiver, a liar, above all, a hypocrite. Oh, I'm a lot of things, but at least I'm honest about it. You're only honest when it works for you. You're only honest when it's to stick it to somebody you don't like. You want penance, but quite frankly, I don't see it that way. Not yet, anyway, because, James, I do not fall for your words. Your words are meaningless to me because your words are the very same words that for 2 years you dragged innocent people's names into the mud that had nothing to do with your little temper tantrum. Oh, yes, let's call it what it is. Your unhealthy desire for a leather strap and some gold plating made you drive innocent people's names into the mud. You ran the name of a man that had nothing to do with your little problems. And you injected yourself into a war that you did not care about, but you only started to care about because of the parties involved. But I know everybody's so goddamn tired of hearing about the blood trail and hearing about hatred and hearing about these things, but yet they do nothing about it. Needham, you still, even in your little heart to heart with the viewing audience, I can't help but to laugh and chuckle, really. You invoke the names of people that I know deep down in your little pit of a soul you would never stand ring to ring with. You invoke the name of Zach Stone, and I still remember that you have never called him out at any point. And your excuse was, well, Chris McClain would. Chris McClain. Mr. Rebel, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Fuck the law, fuck the rules, fuck everything, is scared of Chris McClain taking away his opportunity. Isn't it funny, though? Chris McClain gave you world title opportunities, even when he quote unquote hated you. I'm sorry, aren't you the one that blamed him for what happened to you at Gateway to Heaven, even though that was gnarly? Oh, but you blame him for the world title match between you and Dante. Yet I can't help but to feel that it's almost like you forgot that Dante was part of that match too, therefore he was screwed as well. So you're that selfish and you can't admit it to yourself. It's almost like Zach Stone has been saying for the longest time about people's egos, yet you want to always fight it, yet you're still proving the point. But I would like to prove another point. Narrative cowardness. You put this narrative on that Zach Stone is a coward, yet you never called this man out one time. If you hated Zach Stone so goddamn much, where was your balls and where were you to call him out if you had a problem with him? You keep talking about doing things the right way and being a man, but James, you were less of a man for those 2 years. You were a child yelling at the void because no one was paying attention to you. You drove Malik to such a point that he finally gave you what you wanted. And that was after you drove people's names in the mud that had nothing to do with your problems. Like everybody in Battle Pro, which also includes me. You insulted me. You insulted Zane. You insulted every person in Battle Pro. You insulted Malik's wife because you said anybody loyal to Malik is a fool. So you insulted his wife. You insulted his family. You insulted the brothers that he made in this business. His wrestling family, you insulted them because you were so obsessed on being world champion that you thought you were entitled to that belt when it could have been anybody's on that given night. But no, let's treat it like it's an ultimate sin. As if Claudio didn't get screwed over, as if Arcan didn't have to lay down and lose that belt when I know for a fact he wanted to walk out with that damn belt and piss off everybody else and let Chris make a new title because to him, fuck wrestling. My annoyance to you is that you invoke the names of people you would never truly face. And isn't it ironic that you were so obsessed with Malik for 2 years straight that you did everything in your power to make him miserable until he finally gave you what he wanted? Careful, James, your Charles is showing. Oh, I bet that eats you up, don't it? When I invoke Charles Schultz's name, isn't it funny how the both of you are little mirror images of each other, except the difference is Charles actually went through shit in his life while you pretend? Like, are we like let's really let's get real here for a minute. Charles Schultz is a man who has gone through too much in his life, still has to suffer from the ongoing trauma of reliving that terrible moment in his life over and over again. Because no matter the help you get, when you repress it long enough and you don't get help for it, then it does things to you. It stays with you. And since everybody is so wishy-washy about mental health to the point that they just cherry pick the traumas they want to care about and not give a fuck about everything else because that's how society treats everything. Charles goes his entire life being an entire punching bag, with his family being the only thing that's keeping him from not putting a gun into his mouth and blowing his fucking brains out. I want you to understand, truly, the fucking anguish this man goes through mentally. But you don't care, now do you? Because then that would imply that you understand and you don't want to be looked at as a person that understands but just doesn't have the heart to care. See, here's the thing between you and Charles Needham. You two will continue to do this forever because the both of you do not understand the concept of letting go. No one fucking told you to save his wife from the heretic. You did that by your damn self because you wanted to lord that over his head. No one fucking told you to go to ROV and help him with Alex. No one fucking told you to do that. You didn't have to because, quite frankly, that wasn't your goddamn business to be in. And since you came into the very same company of a man who likes to who's well, let's be honest, the equivalent of Eric Bischoff of the VW because he makes money off of the horrid atrocities like watching a child get slapped by a grown man and use that for clickbait. No one asked you to do that, James. And before someone says, well, he did it because that was the right thing to do. No. No. James Needham doesn't know what the right thing is because James Needham has done things his entire life all for himself, not because it's the greater good or it's the right thing to do. He did it out of either spite or for himself. James Needham, for the last 2 years, has done everything in his power, not because it's the right thing to do, but because he wants to spite the people who took away his perfect, tragic hero story. But you want penance, and you want to face me, and you want to make this one dimensional idea that I hate you when I told you I don't. I'm not in the business of making it. I'm not in the business of giving people penance. No, 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 no. If you think that I'm going to do to you what I did to Jamal, Bedlam, or Zaya Steele, or Xander, or even Cody Barnett, you're wrong. Because those were different. I did those things to those men to enlighten them. to bring them to a place that they were afraid to go. I woke them up and turned them to who they are. You, I'm not doing that. I'm not in the business of making people famous by turning them into meaningless martyrs. But if you want a match so badly, then fine, we'll get it. I will believe you when I meet you in the ring. Because I don't believe you, and you've given me no reason to believe you. You want to be the fool who wants to be the quote unquote dark side hero? You don't deserve that title. No, you are the meaningless martyr to me. You don't deserve that title of the dark side hero because you have never been a hero. And hell, even the dark side doesn't care for you either. The dark side spits people like you out. But we'll have our match. And it will be then and there I see with my own eyes who you really are. Oh, but I'm not going to mutilate you. No, that would be what you want, wouldn't it, Mr. Deathmatch Junkie? The man that gets hard on every time a deathmatch is mentioned? No, I'm not going to give you that kind of satisfaction. When we meet, no ring out, no pinfall. The only way to win is by submission, knockout, or if you make your opponent say, I quit. And since you're such a whore for theatrics, I got a nice little name for you. Path to Penance. I'll see you there, Needham. It doesn't have to be Takedown. It doesn't have to be UWL. It doesn't have to be VW. It could be anything. I'll be waiting. Because you want to be the child still playing war. I'm the grown man that's conquering, and I will be the grown man that will conquer everything. For I am Vin Taylor, and I am the new color red in a world full of black and white. And I will stand upon that mountain you have made. Read your epitaph and realize as I look across the horizon that this was a beautiful hill for you to die on. I'll see you there, Needham.